together. I think that this is a very, very unique approach, and in our professional experience, it's the way designers work. We don't really use just architects anymore or just industrial designers. Clients come to us with big, messy problems, and they don't have the time to sort it out. They say, look, you're the designer, you figure out what my problem is, you solve it. So we think we're educating the next group of leaders to solve those really big, interdisciplinary, blurry, messy kinds of problems. So that's why we structured the department the way that we do. So the classes work sequentially, and there is a framework around that. But if you look at our degree plan, at least half of the studio electives, half of the studio requirements are electives. So we really encourage you to be developing passion and an expertise in another discipline. And you'll see that in the work here. You'll see some work that's very computer-based, some that's very based in materials like wood or metal or ceramic, some that's based in video or paint. So we like to say we're an ideas department.
Environmental design program here is kind of the duality in the way they expect us to work. At one time, it almost feels like solely, completely independent. Yet at the other time, it's not independent at all, because you're relying on everyone else in our department, relying on all the teachers, relying on the library, let alone just relying on yourself. So it really forces you to just work in all directions and explore things that you wouldn't normally explore just to be able to get things done. You have to experiment, you have to go beyond your means, beyond your limits to make it. That's what I like about the department.
Designers solve problems, and problems could be big and complex, but solution not necessarily is environment or architecture. Solution could be object, could be system, could be space, could be piece of clothing, could be packaging, could be vehicle, could be toy. So doing objects in spaces opens a possibility for students to come up with a solution that not necessarily structural.
One of the major things about this department is that I love how interdisciplinary it is. So I think I've only taken 2 design courses, but a plethora of other studios that are offered throughout the school. Not to say that this department hasn't given me a lot, but learning graphic design and learning wood, learning metal, learning everything is also very important to who you are. And our advisors are very complimentary to being able to do that.
Well, what I like most about the department, besides it being fairly small and you really get to rely on peers and teachers who get to spend a lot of outside time with you, is the collaboration of whatever skills you have in conjunction with the projects. You really get to bring whatever outside skills in and make it worth your while, making it structures or objects, and you might even see it someday, not just on the wall in a gallery. That's something pretty.
The art setting that we're in, being around a lot of artists, but at the same time practically applying these sorts of ideas and artistic expression in an architecture sort of way is unique to yourself. And I feel like it's a very personal sort of expression of how architecture can be read that is unique to any other school. And that's why I like it here.
The students here are amazing. They are just so, we don't have a competitive atmosphere here at MICA. It's more like we help each other, and that's amazing to me.
What I like most is that I get to work with people outside of Baltimore and seeing really how architecture impacts the people in terms of the layout of the city and how that could eventually work into some of my own art in terms of designing urban planning that's a little bit more integrated, or urban planning that helps different sections of society work better.
Well, something interesting that I find about our department is I like the studio environment for one, like working with our peers side to side, kind of drawing knowledge from each other and just working in this environment has like something different that kind of.
That's the advantage of being in an art school, is we take really trying to bring in all of the other departments around the school into this department. As well as we've got very strong connections in other academic institutions. We do a lot of work with Johns Hopkins University, business school, engineering school, Bloomberg School of Public Health, as well as the medical school. And the class I'm teaching right now, Ancient City of the Future, is co-taught with myself and archaeologists from the Department of Ancient Near Eastern History. So design is growing, you know. I mean, between graphic design, environmental design, illustration, which I would say is sort of a borderline, you know, design program because of the way they think and their projects. Fibers, experimental animation, you know, all these interactive media, all these departments and students are really kind of on, I think, on this cutting edge of